Everyone knows that homes need insulation. Well, the catch is, get it wrong, your house is going to be an ice block in winter and it's going to be a sauna in summer. In this video, we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts about insulation and what to avoid. Simon here from Zelena Homes. Welcome to our Curlewis project. Today we want to be talking to you about insulation. With this particular project being thermally modelled, we've been able to ensure that we've got an airtight construction. Airtight meaning that we're not necessarily having wind washing, and that helps the performance of insulation to achieve its intended use. So that's a point of difference. Another point of difference on this particular project is that you probably can't see your noggings. So what we've done is rotated our noggings vertically. Reason for this is just to allow us to ensure that we can have continuous insulation from floor to ceiling. That will mean that there's more insulation in our walls and better performance for the overall home, and that will mean heating and cooling losses kept to a minimum. Another important factor to be mindful of is the installation of insulation. What I mean by that is ensuring that when installed, it needs to be tight and snug. Any gaps will obviously then lead to air leakage and you won't get the performance out of your insulation. There will be some walls within your home that a lot of the offcuts will then go into. Again, you want to ensure that that same principle is applied, and that's just making sure that your bats are nice and snug within your wall cavities. So another little trick that we've utilised on this project, and we want to ensure that the house is energy efficient and comfortable for our clients, is that we've made our stud spacings 600 in lieu of your typical 450. Reason being is that we're able to get in more insulation into our walls, meaning that the home is going to be more comfortable all year round. And that can really add up over the course of a 2-storey home with the amount of insulation now that we can achieve from having a wider stud opening. So while installing the insulation and also doing your pre-plaster walkthrough, you do need to be diligent when installing your insulation bats, ensuring that all your gaps, your joints are all nice and clean, because at the end of the day, we are going to affect the comfort of the home. So as a standard on our projects, we try and do a little bit better than what our code stipulates. So I guess as an overview, we've ensured that we've got noggings that are in vertically to ensure vertical insulation. We've widened our studs. As you can see, we do all our internal walls, which generally aren't stipulated as a requirement. And we've maximised the R value on our external walls and our ceilings to ensure that we can get the maximum performance and comfort out of our builds. So in a normal code built home, all these walls generally would not be insulated. You'll be able to see right through them. In this particular build, we've insulated every wall. That's going to help with thermal comfort, making the house warm, comfortable all year round, but also too for acoustic reasons, making sure that each room is nice and quiet within the home. You're probably wondering what a thermal bridge is. Well, in this instance with insulation, it's where we have a gap where the insulation hasn't been joined correctly or installed diligently enough. Hot and cold love coming through gaps. So what we need to ensure is that these gaps are minimised and reduced to ensure that now we don't have that thermal bridge. So you're wondering how they determine the value or the performance of bats, and sometimes this can be confusing to most people, but generally it's referred to as the R value, and that R value refers to the performance of the bat. So the lower the R value, the lower the performance. The higher the R value, the better performance you are going to get out of your bats. And your wall bats are different to your ceiling bats, and that is often due to the R value, or the higher R value, meaning a thicker bat will go into the ceiling as opposed to what goes into your walls. So within our wall cavities, everyone, we're all going to have services. In this example here, we have hot and cold water pipes. We just don't want to be installing our insulation above and below those and leaving these pipes here exposed, because it will create a thermal bridge. So we do need to be meticulous about how we install our insulation, ensure that we're getting continuous insulation above and below these services. It may take longer, but it will be worth it in the end, ensuring that we are fully insulating that wall cavity. And then generally on completion, just for our purpose, we might indicate that there is a service behind that bat there, just for the trades on site. So as an overall package of the system, for everything to combine and work together, we need to ensure we're using the correct wraps, climber wraps, which means that that's going to perform at its peak. That in return is going to now assist our insulation in performing better, which then in return will allow the inside of the house to perform better, be more comfortable all year round. Just a quick demonstration of what we've done in the room downstairs. We've got our continuous insulation and we've been able to then take that up and then continue that into our ceiling space here. So again, it's ensuring that, you know, the insulation's tight. We're diligently putting it around surfaces to ensure that we're getting comfort all year round. So just above me is an example, and here we have an exposed surface. So what we need to do now is, before we plaster the ceilings, we want to ensure that we come through now and that is all properly insulated and sealed up tightly in that area. And that's going to prevent any thermal bridging and ensure that we're getting that continuous flow of insulation, walls and up through our ceiling. So just another little tip that helps us with air tightness, thermal bridging and ensuring that we can, again, not leave any holes or voids, is that we'll often tuck our insulation or use foam in between our window reveal and our wall frame. It means that we'll fill this void up, we'll often tape it. So now we're just ensuring that every void is filled up. We've got airtight construction, and again, it'll lead to a better performing home. And these little 1%ers really help at the end of the day to ensuring that we're getting comfort and performance out of our bats. So bringing all these various products together, our wall wraps, our insulation, our airtight construction, we're able then to conduct a blower door test, and that being that we have a fan, computer, and we actually fill the house up with air at 50 pascals, and it will give us a reading on how well the house performs in regards to air leakages. We were able to get this down to 1.2. It's a considerable difference in performance. By us going ahead and taping, insulating, sealing our house correctly, we're really able to keep the transfer of losing hot and cold out of our building envelope to ensure that this house will remain comfortable all year round for our clients. If you're at the design stage, don't get caught up in the internal finishes. Concentrate on performance and comfort. Look at airtightness, insulation and windows. Get those three right and the rest will fall into place. Insulation could be one of the smartest investments you make in your home. It's just not a tick box system. It could be the difference of either feeling cold or hot, or either feeling comfortable all year round. If you have any questions about insulation, drop your queries in the comments below. We'd love to answer in future videos.